Well, good morning. Doing a little bit of ice fishing today. We're trying to get on an early, I shouldn't say we, I. No one else will come out here when it's this cold. I'm trying to get on an early bluegill bite this morning. Bitterly cold. I believe the radio said 1 above before I got out. I'm on a lake that will not be named. I thought I was going to tell you where I was fishing. You don't know me that well. And right about the depth that I'm sitting right now, I just hammered the bluegills last night on an evening bite. Now we're supposed to get some weather in this evening, so I'm thinking these fish may bite throughout the day, but it's hard to say for sure. So as soon as we get into some, we'll get back at you. I might take some moving around. We'll see. Oop. Oop. Not huge, but I'll take him. First fish of the morning. Thought it would take a little while before we had a bite. I don't typically drive out onto the lake. I'm not a fan of it. Mostly because it spooks fish, but being as cold as it is, and because I had camera equipment with today that I would have to keep the batteries warm for, I thought it might be prudent. Caught that fish on the drop. That means they're fairly aggressive. Those of you who don't own a flasher, I don't. I won't knock the people who do. I've used them from time to time. But to locate fish suspending in the water column, best method I've found is just to slowly drop it. Seems like it goes past them and they just can't resist it. About as natural a presentation as you can find. Another bite. That feels like a better fish because it is a little better fish. I guess he's not huge, but a morning like this will take him. Good eating size sunfish. Not sure if the camera or these big gloves will really do them justice. Kind of right on a weed line this morning. So you're typically going to run into bluegills early in the morning and late in the evening. Let's find something a little bigger. Man alive, it is cold out here. Getting there, getting there. Right about there's where the last two were. As miserable as they can be to fish, I really don't mind mornings like this just for the simple fact that you have the lake to yourself. You don't have guys running around running power augers everywhere, running four-wheelers, running trucks. These fish have no pressure at the moment. A lot of you guys who ice fish quite a bit probably looking at the rig I'm using and snickering a little. But seeing as I don't typically fish deep water very often, these schoolie poles are more than sufficient for what I like to do. Nice and simple. It's the beauty of ice fishing. Now, for those of you who don't do it, you don't need a flasher, you don't need a power auger. Oh, that feels like a good fish. A little better. A little pink one. You don't need all that fancy stuff to ice fish. Hell, I'd go so far as to say you don't even need an auger. You could spud your way through the ice when the ice is thin enough. Pretty sunrise. A little better one. Brings us up to 3. We're on the Minnesota side of the river right now, so we have to stop at 10, not 25. But I'm okay with that. If I could hit 10 and get out of here and get warmed up, that'd be fine with me. When you work nights like I do, you have to get up early to catch these bluegills because they're primarily evening and morning feeders. Don't ask me why, I couldn't tell you. That's a question for a biologist. But perch feed throughout the day, but I'm not all that big on fishing perch. A lot of folks, that's their favorite panfish target. They fight hard. Crappies are neat too. Crappies get really big, but day in, day out, if you ask me, there isn't many things more fun than catching these big bluegills. That was a very deliberate bite. Might be a better fish. Well, they're all running about the same size. Plenty big enough. But we need if we can get into something a little bigger. This is a pretty big glove, keep in mind, so that's a decent bluegill. Talking them up bigger than they are. He took my bait. It can be a real pain when it's this cold out. I'm not a big fan of taking my gloves off if I don't have to. Using a little green Team Ice Stopper jig. Green teardrop jig with silver flippers. We've used them for years. I didn't really even know what they were called until just recently this year. Middle of the day, if I was trying to find fish, I'd probably switch to something smaller, something like a marmuska or a moon jig. They're a little less aggressive. When they're on the feed like this, this seems to do the job. sure the camera was still running. Hard to know in this cold weather. Had camera batteries die on me before, numerous times. I see you guys are still with me here, so keep tabs on that. That feels like a good fish. Because it is. Ah, there's a nicer one. Again, not a monster. He's not a real slab, but he's better than the last few. These fish are taking these baits pretty deliberately this morning. That's usually how a larger gill behaves. They aren't running all that big. I suppose they're just a little more aggressive today. I'll take it. I don't mind. It's better than toying with them when they don't want to take it. As long as they're taking that jig in their mouth and getting hooked. Brings us up to 5. We're halfway there. I was thinking I'd have to edit some dead footage out of here, but I may not have to. They're coming one right after another. If we could get a limit of sunfish filmed in real time, that'd be pretty cool. Don't seem to be hitting it on the drop anymore. Most of my hit's down at the bottom. Hole's freezing up about as fast as I can scoop it out. Try another drop. You know, again, I won't knock the guys who use flashers, but I like watching that spring bobber. To me, it's pretty neat when a big one comes in, pulls that bobber down. I know a lot of you who ice fish, you know, doing a lot of talking, probably telling me, shut up, Hunter, I know that. But again, the main reason I wanted to put a lot of these videos together is because there are so few people who are willing to help out those who don't know how to do this stuff. And that's a shame. I had a lot of mentors growing up, and I feel like everybody ought to. Everybody starts somewhere. thinking this hole may not be producing anymore. We might have to jump one. Alright, maybe we moved about 10 yards. A little more than that, I suppose. That's all it takes sometimes. Gold gloves. We're going to check our depth again here, because it's another hole I fished the evening before. If I remember right, there's some weeds in this one. Set things up a little higher. Yep. Bring it up a turn. That ought to do her. Here we go. For those of you who are from here, from the camera angle, you can probably tell where we are now. But that's alright. It's not like it's a secret destination. Pretty popular lake. A lot of you aren't willing to get up this early when it's this cold anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see if we can get into a fish here on the first drop. That'd be pretty neat. Drawback you will have fishing mornings is cold. You get ice on your line, that's a constant battle. Like I mentioned before, the hole freezes up almost instantly. When I'm catching fish though, I don't tend to feel cold. It's when you're not catching them. That's when things get a little rough. Oh, man, was that an aggressive bite? It's a better fish. It's not very often a sunfish just about takes the rod out of your hands. 6. I was about to say, I can't believe these fish are done. Sunfish will shut off on you. It's like flipping a switch in the morning, but I didn't think they were done yet. It's early yet. Sun hasn't really cleared the trees. It's usually the indicator that they're going to stop. Don't seem to be taking it on the drop. Most of these fish are hanging right at the bottom, which is unusual for this time of morning. But those that are around, they're feeding. Ooh, another one. Oh, missed them. Those that are around seem to be feeding pretty aggressively. That was a pretty aggressive bite. Kind of behaved like a smaller fish though. Bluegills, a lot of times you'll have a smaller fish and your bobber will go tat, 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 just fast and furious, but they're just playing with you. A big bluegill, 9 times out of 10, he'll come and he'll take it very deliberately, like that. Colorful one. such pretty fish. Most of these this morning have been more just the plain yellow ones. That one has a nice red chest on him. Pretty male. What does that bring us to? Gotta keep track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Didn't I already catch 6? 3 more. We can warm our toes up. That one took it on the drop. Usually fish hanging tight to the bottom are tough customers. They're usually not feeders. It's the suspenders that are feeders. Doesn't seem to be the case this morning, though. They seem to be feeding all over the water column. Ice off your line yet again. It's a never-ending battle when it's cold like this. Might not have to listen to me talk anymore. I'm getting to the point where I don't think I really can. A little hard to form my words. My face is getting a little chilly. There we go. Oh no. Moved back to our original spot. So what I kind of like to do is move in circles, give fish time to settle down in the hole I fished already. Had the camera die on us back there. I don't know how much you guys missed, but another bite. That one was shallow. We're 2 away from a limit, and we picked up a bonus crappie. So these fish are biting here. Whether or not I can hook one or not, we'll see. They seem small. That's how they behave. That one's not small. Oh, maybe he is. Bluegills are such scrappers. Even the little ones feel bigger sometimes. Give me that. Yeah. You gotta think about it, they're too small. About ready to be done here. It is cold. There we go. Another little one. Caught the big ones out of this hole and little ones moved in. Fishing with wax worms this morning. Didn't have time to stop and buy some spikes. I don't mind using waxies, but they can be a bit of a chore because they shred so easily after a few fish. I prefer maggots simply because you have tougher skin, they stay on the hook longer. I feel as though you get a lot more mileage out of a maggot than a waxworm. And my waxworms are frozen. That's kind of gross. Shredding apart, they look like ice cream. Fish might like it though. These fish back at this hole are hitting on the drop, like that one. Oh! Felt like a better fish too. Check to make sure the camera hadn't died on me. It's too cold to pick those up right now. I'm not going to do that until I'm done. Frozen anyway. Let's get another one. Pretty morning. Just so blasted cold. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. This big yellow. Give that fish a little more time to take my bait, which he stole it on me. Ooh! Go back in there. Decent fish. One more. You know it's cold out and you gotta thaw out your waxies. Kind of roll them between your fingers, they start to soften up a little. There we go. That's workable. One more and we can get out of here. There we go. Oh, that's a good one to end it on. Probably the biggest fish I've caught this morning. Had to move one more time to pick up our last one, but he was worth it. He's a nice one. Put you away before you get back in there. Thanks for watching. For those of you who liked the page last year, it's been tough. We've had equipment difficulties. It's just been tough getting a video off the ground, and I kind of resolved this winter just to get it done, you know, no matter what it took. Like this ice fishing video, it's easier to self-film. So Thanks for watching. I realize it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch, but for those of you who don't ice fish, who wanted to learn something, I hope you did. And we should get back to you with some more. We should have some more fun stuff coming this spring, some turkey hunts, some bull fishing, and we'll definitely try and get some more ice videos going. And I'm going to get out of here because I'm cold, but first episode of River Rat Outdoors, pretty exciting. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.